Hello. Test, test. Hello? Can you all hear me? All right. Oh, Championship Sunday, folks. TCG just ended right around time. This helped because game one of TCG, I think, was a donk. So the game just ended immediately. But welcome to Championship Sunday here at EUIC. Going to be in store for some really good matches. Of course, we've got 3 games, Juniors, Seniors, and Masters. And, of course, Wolf in Masters looking to claim another title with his Koraidon. In Juniors, Ismael against Fabian. They've actually played against each other. And so this is actually a rematch, which means there's context to this battle that we also don't know of, which is... Wait, Game 3 was also a donk in TCG? No way. Feels bad. Feels bad. Alright, well, while we prep for the finals, let me get the chat up on the screen. I changed some settings. I'm hoping the drop frames that was happening yesterday doesn't happen, but let me know if it's an issue. Game 3 was faster? Oh my gosh. Anyway, very excited to cover this live for all of you. Let's get chat. Try to get chat on the screen. Why do I have 2 chats? What the heck? Sign into chat. Why are your guys' messages not popping up? Okay, well, I figured this out. We've got time, fortunately. I seem to enjoy Pokemon music a bit. Yeah, it's because I've had so much on in the background. Okay, this should give me the chat that I want. Pop out chat. Okay, chat. I don't know why this is on the screen. Goodbye. Remove you. Okay. Chat here. Boom. Yeah, easy. All right, I can't believe we almost have 1,000 people tuning in already before the game's even started. Has anyone ever won multiple worlds other than Ray Rizzo? The answer to that is no. Let's see. Chat. All right, so we got 3 games. Looks like we are getting ready to set up for the junior division finals. Unfortunately, we don't have context for the teams. Wolf is literally the closest to winning multiple, however. Yeah, you have Wolf and then Sejong Park, who got second in senior division worlds in 2011 as well. And then won worlds, obviously, in Masters. You have Paul Ruiz, who won worlds and got 3rd at worlds, or top 4 at worlds in back-to-back years. Top 4 into 1st. Michael Kelsch, who's got 2nd and 3rd, so really close to winning 2 times. These Championship Sunday streams get so many viewers on Twitch. It's great. How much does it have on Twitch right now? Let's see. I think it's normally on the front page as well, which is awesome and helps boost the viewership. Today on 7K here. And then 12K, so about 20K combined between the two streams, which is cool. We'll see how much we can compete for the viewership of the live streams. Someone asked, does juniors normally have the same teams as masters? It ranges a lot, honestly. Like you can like sometimes yes, and sometimes they use like really wonky stuff, like hard trick room, for example, just because it's like a little bit easier to execute. But today, yeah, Edu also got top 4 and first. That's right, and top 16. Naoto Mitsubishi first in 2019, top 4 in 2015, 9th place in 2010, which is crazy as well. Oh, and top 8 in 2022. Yeah, so a first place, a top 4, and a top 8, and a 9th place. What's crazy about Naoto is that like his first Worlds was in 2010. Like he's had success in so many different Worlds formats. Oh, Peter, that's yeah. I was there the last 2 years. That's cool. What Pokemon do I feel like should get Shadow Tag? I don't think we need more Pokemon to get that ability, honestly. What team from EUIC am I most excited to try on the ladder? Let's see. I would be really interested in Kyle Livinghouse's team. He had Calyrex Shadow Rider with Weezing, which I think was cool, but it was like a different take because he had Hyper Offense with like Dragonite Chien-Pao, and it was Focus Sash, Encore, Ghost Terra Calyrex. I also really liked, obviously, Wolf's team. Oh, if you have the Arcanine team list links, that would be awesome. Yes. I don't know why they're not linked on here. But yeah, if you have the Arcanine links, I would gladly take them. Let's see, what were the other teams in Masters? We can take a look. A lot of these names are junior names that I recognize. We are about to start the finals of the junior divisions. Of course, these is like kind of the 10 and under age group. If you want to redeem your Jumpluff, a Pokemon that's actually relevant in this format, normally used with that Groudon, you should use this code, get a free Jumpluff. I think the frame rate looks good, so hopefully the change settings will continue to work out. I think Streamlabs may have like messed up my settings at some point, which is why yesterday was a little bit choppier. So fingers crossed. Put your prayers up, folks. Double restricted is not confirmed for the next regulation yet. What's the first double restricted combo I want to try in the next regulation? I want to try fun stuff. I don't know. I used dual primals in 2016 and won regionals with it. So I don't know if Kyogre or Groudon's going to be nearly as good. The primals were just so much stronger. Am I co-streaming the Pokemon Direct? No, I don't plan to do that. And okay, we're getting into it. Someone was asking, hey, like juniors and seniors, juniors, like, do they use the same team as masters? And look at this. Iron Treads. Oh my gosh, and Galarian Weezing. This is so cool. Using Galarian Weezing as a juniors is really impressive to me. I do not think that's easy. Okay, actually, I wanted some battle music in the background as well, so let me pop that up. Alright. The music's probably too low for you guys, so I'm gonna tune it up and let me know how it sounds. Iron Crown is sick though, wow. Okay, let's see. I actually think both of these teams, are really cool. And these have, like, I think in juniors it's actually pretty frequent for players to have fought against each other. So, you know, the big question here is, does Weezing come out in the matchup? So Iron Crown, really interesting Pokemon. We have seen this used a little bit in the Masters division, Riley Factura being one of the premier pilots of it in this regulation specifically. And so this is kind of like a Trick Room team, right? Like, and these kind of teams generally do really, really well in juniors, because the idea is you just get to use really powerful attacks and win the game quickly. But the Smear Go here is really cool as well. And it's not a Pokemon that we see that much these days, but was something that was being used on Calyrex Ice Rider teams in this format. And so, yeah, this is really unique. Poison Terra Blast here on the Iron Crown. That is not something that I've seen before on this. But the general idea, of course, is to try to set up that Trick Room. And look at this. It is a champion clash. Both of these have won juniors LAIC championships before. And so someone will get another LAIC championship belt under their belt, which is really, really cool. But yeah, Weezing is really fascinating to see from a junior's perspective, because this is not a very easy Pokemon to use, in my opinion, right? Like, there's so many things that it does in terms of canceling abilities, and a lot of like unique interactions that you have to remember with it. And so I'm really impressed to see it being piloted here. And I believe, yeah, they fought against each other previously in Swiss here, and Fabian won. So these, you know, they have experience fighting against each other, and I think that'll be really interesting as well. Can we get some background music? I have music. Let me tune it up a bit. Let me know if this is too loud or too low. Oh my, this is a really cool stat. So yeah, the thing about really good juniors is there aren't that many players that compete in this division, so it's really, really frequent for you to run against each other and play against each other. Okay, I have tuned up the music a bit. Let me know if it's too loud. But it's been pretty even as well, 4 and 3. You know, nearly basically, like, you can't be 50% obviously because it's an odd number of games, but you barely hear the music. Okay, tune it up. All right, we've got Indeedee plus Ice Rider against Calyrex plus the Urshifu on the opposing side here. So for Ishmael, like, the goal was to set up Trick Room, right? You have to deal with Surging plus Astral Barrage pressure right now. I think you could probably go Defensive Terra here, Follow Me, Trick Room. Yep, looks like that's what we're seeing. Yep, exactly. And then on the opposing side, you could just go Astral Surging, get a knockout. But then the thing is, if you knock out the Indeedee, you do give a free switch in, which is really scary, right? Because then you have like Ice Rider plus Torkoal out next to each other. So let's see. We're going to start off the game immediately. And yeah, the way that you want to use these teams is set up Trick Room and then just ideally win the game under Trick Room. We're going to see a Terra Stellar commit here immediately on the Urshifu. Okay. And then a Terra commit here on the opposing side as well. The Stellar on Ursh is interesting because I think if the goal is to, yeah, like it would be able to knock out the Calyrex here, but Follow Me here just protects it anyway, right? So like Astral doesn't do anything here, does here, and you get more damage onto the Indeedee. Oh, it's going to be Expanding Force here. Okay, well, that does so much damage. That's really nice. Surgeon comes out here. And Indeedee will just go down immediately. So, yeah, I'm really surprised to see that Terra commit, because I think Surging, with Expanding, maybe it doesn't get the KO, and Fabian really wants to accelerate the pace here and get the knockout. So, you often will have to commit a lot of resources in order to set up Trick Room with a team like this, but now you get Torkoal out, right? So now it's just Glacial Lance plus Eruption spam. So what Fabian needs to do is essentially, you know, go for Protects and try to slow things down a little bit here. So I think right now it's just literally Glacial Lance, Eruption every turn, and likely just Protects from the opposing side. The question is, what does Fabian have in the back like and switch in right now? Because there's so much damage now available. So, yeah, I think, you know, the Terra there to make sure you knock out that NDD. NDD might survive, of course. Probably survives otherwise. Expanding did do a lot of damage, though, and, you know, that's the upside of expanding. Nice call by Fabian to go for expanding rather than Astral Barrage. But Ice Rider doesn't care about being low HP if you can... Yeah, so you can see it's literally just Glacial Lance Eruption. That's part of the reason why these teams have a lot of success in juniors, because it's like the pure offense is just so strong, right? So, yeah, the main question here is what switches does Fabian have to weather this storm? And it is going to be, I believe, the Wheezing coming out, hitting the field here, okay? But I think you probably still feint to Specs Eruption and Glacial here. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's just a double KO. It's a crit on the Urshifu, but I honestly don't think the crit matters because you would knock out the Wheezing in one shot and then Glacial Lance becomes single target. And I honestly think single target Glacial Lance just KOs unless you have a lot of bulk. Yeah, I think knocking out NDD is basically, like, if you're doing it, you have to be confident on weathering the storm of Ice Rider plus Torkoal because you give the free switch in a Torkoal. One of the things that can be tough for these Trick Room teams is if your redirection user doesn't get to pivot out, because then you're stuck on the field with NDD on turn 2 and things can be a little bit awkward. But... okay, it's going to be... I mean, this just feels kind of over, honestly, right? Like, Iron Hands plus Calyrex, like Glacial plus Eruption once again. No defensive Terra here. Calyrex just falls, and so... this is the power of this offensive duo. You've got Assault Vest on the opposing side 2 turns, and, like, the Calyrex basically here needs to hope for a double protect. Iron Hands, I don't even think takes this combo, and it can't even fake out with Psychic Terrain being up. No Aqua Jet because the Psychic Terrain is up here, but Glacial just should get the knockout here, I think. Ooh, okay. Hands is going to be faster, which is good information to know, but it's still not enough to secure the knockout. It goes for high horsepower. They're slightly risky, mainly because you could miss there, but yeah, I don't think it really matters because Torkoal just KOs you the next turn anyway. Okay, Urshifu doesn't have Aqua Jet. Yeah, it wouldn't be really relevant here anyway. Yeah, this was just clear, like, hard Trick Room, set up Trick Room, and just go boom. But he gets the double protect! Wait, honestly, I think with the double protect, Fabian just wins. Like I said, it came down to whether or not you get a double, and he gets it. The double comes out. Now you just click Astral Barrage. The audio is bugging. Can you guys, if the audio is bugging, try refreshing. Because it doesn't look like there's anything, like I'm not dropping frames or anything, so I'm just gonna, yeah, there's nothing I can do to really change things, unfortunately. I'll try to figure it out after this game. But yeah, now it's just Astral Barrage, Astral Barrage, Astral Barrage. Yeah, sometimes YouTube has issues with audio, I've experienced, so just try refreshing it, and I think normally it should solve audio issues. Cool. Anyway, yeah, like, this is also the downside of Hard Trick Room, which is, like, Protect obviously is a good way to stall it out, and so this game came down to a double Protect, essentially. Like, for Ishmael, like, it's a very clear-cut strategy, right? There's not really too much you could have done differently, because, like, I think the main question is actually whether or not you should bring something over Amoonguss. Oh, wait, actually, he would have won this. He would have run this if he brought Smeargle, because Smeargle has Wide Guard. So, yeah, I think, good job on Fabian to conserve Calyrex until the end, and I think for Ishmael, you got to bring that Smeargle. So, Torkoal feints. But, yeah, clutch double protect there, wow. Let's look at the team sheet here. This is the solution. Like, this Smeargle over Amoonguss, you just get to Wide Guard the Calyrex and neutralize it in the end. Once again, if you're having audio issues, please try refreshing the stream. Seems like it's worked for most of the chat. Okay, some people are still saying audio is bugging. I don't know if those people have refreshed, so please try refreshing. I am looking at chat, Julian. All right, so obviously for Fabian, you don't want to rely on winning the game off a double protect. So what can you do differently? Ursh does have taunt here. I still like Wheezing. Roaring Moon could be used as a switch in. It's just a false to Glacial Lance though, which is the problem. You could bring your own Indeedee. Like, this can reverse Trick Room, so something like Indeedee Calyrex is also a possibility. How do you counter a Trick Room plus Follow Me turn 1? You bring your own Trick Room or you taunt. Well, taunt wouldn't work, actually, because so Fabian's just willing to go with the same combo. Smeargle hits the field this time around. I would have liked Smeargle in the back, honestly. But you do have Wide Guard, obviously, available. Fire Terra Trick Room. You could just Fake Out here. Yeah. Okay. Calyrex switches as well. Is it Indeedee? No, that's Iron Hands. Okay. You see a Terra from Ice Rider. Fabian's not allowed to bring his Indeedee? Oh, is there a team sheet error? Whoa. Well, that makes things more challenging. Yeah, that just eliminates that option. Okay, so Fake Out here, and then Trick Room goes up. Iron Hands now does have Fake Out, though, into either slot. And because you Fire Terra, Surging's available. So no Indeedee here, which means you can't block the Fake Out. So this could be Fake Out plus Surging, obviously. But now you do have two things that can put things to sleep. So where did Fake Out go right now? Ooh, there's no Fake Out. It's going to be the switch into Wheezing. Shutting down abilities. And we're going to see the Terra from the opposing end. Okay. So this makes a lot of sense if you're trying to just get the knockout onto the Calyrex, but it's so vulnerable to obviously getting spored. And then Ishmael also makes a really nice switch here. And now Wheezing just gets put to sleep. But now you have Smeargle and Amoonguss out on the field, so the question is, can you actually get enough value out of your turns of Trick Room, right? Amoonguss is going to be really annoying in putting things to sleep, though. Guys, normally if you are... Like, there's a lot of different reasons why you might not be allowed to use a Pokemon. Sometimes it's literally just a team sheet error. Like, you entered the team sheet incorrectly, and so it doesn't match what you have in game, and then it just prevents you from using it. Like, there's so many different reasons that could cause someone to not be able to bring a Pokemon. Anyway, that was a really fantastic switch by bringing in the Amoonguss. But I think, yeah. Ishmael's in a good spot right now, I'd say. Like, the main thing you have to worry about is Calyrex positioning itself after Trick Room is over. But I really, really love the decision to bring Smeargle into this matchup. And there's really no way to stop the sleep from the opposing side right now. So Smeargle switches. Back out into the Ice Rider. I mean, you need the offense out on the field. So, yeah, I like this. I would definitely give the advantage to Ishmael right now. This was a super safe play to make. You go for the Spore. Honestly, if I'm Fabian, I might actually take the Spore there just so that I can burn a turn of sleep immediately. Because now, you might just get knocked out, right? I guess this turn's interesting because there's 2 turns of Trick Room left. So you can knock out one of the two, but you can't knock out both. You can put one of the two to sleep as well. Just thinking about the Rage Powder here. Rage Powder obviously covers for the, I think I like the idea of just targeting down the Urshifu here. And I think this was an opportunity for Calyrex to attack, honestly. But obviously you don't want to get hit by an attack. But Calyrex here would have been able to survive Glacial Lance, get an Astral Barrage off, or an Expanding Force off. Glacial comes out, and it does not knock out the Urshifu, but I think that's expected. Ursh takes its first turn to sleep. So now you go for a Protect with Ursh, and I think you can sack the... Or sorry, Protect... yeah, try to Protect with Ursh, and then I would switch Calyrex out right now. I think this is too important to give up. So... you do actually write your stats on the team sheet, but the open team sheet means what your opponent sees is they don't see all the stats. But for example, if you insert your stats incorrectly when your team gets checked, you could still get penalized for it. Even if your opponent doesn't see those stats, you do write them down. Yeah, so I think you have to make sure that you don't let Calyrex fall asleep here. Glacial comes out. And that's a knockout. Now, there is the free switch in, though, back into the Calyrex, but I think now, if you're Ishmael, you can pivot back out into Smeargle and Protect. And then you threaten with Wide Guard. You also are full HP with Calyrex here, so, I don't know. This feels kind of over to me. Like, the sleep was just so effective here for Ishmael. I mean, I think Smeargle was a wonderful adjustment. I wanted to see that in the back because I thought like Inity, Calyrex, Smeargle, Torkoal works, but this was just put things to sleep and then click Glacial Lance into everything. Yeah, I think Spore Trick Room here makes sense. Calyrex here can either Expanding Force knock out Amoonguss or Astral Barrage, which honestly might not knock out either. It's just going to be the Weezing leaving the field, but Weezing honestly not accomplishing anything here in this matchup. I think not being able to bring Indy, unfortunately for Fabian, is actually oh my gosh, and it even survives. But I don't think it even really needed that survival, since you would get Trick Room up, and then it's Torkoal plus Ice Rider, and there's still a Smeargle in the back. But yeah, I think this game now feels definitely over since Calyrex is under Trick Room and asleep. So the question is, what does Fabian do to adjust in Game 3, right? Like, we've seen 2 leads so far, Indy Ice Rider as well as Smeargle Ice Rider, and it doesn't seem like there's really a way to deny that Trick Room, which I think makes this really challenging. So we're going to see a switch here into Torkoal. Fake out into the Amoonguss. Now Ice Rider gets to come out back for free, and then he's just Eruption plus Glacial Lance into everything. Quad Protect. That could work. The thing, though, is this time around, even with all the Protects, you haven't gotten any special attack boost on the Calyrex. And so you don't one-shot everything. But I do think Fabian not being able to use his NDD makes it really tough, because I don't think Weezing honestly contributes anything in this matchup. Like, the abilities on Ishmael's end, the only thing that's really relevant would be shutting down Drought, but you need to do that before the Torkoal hits the field. But the reason why Weezing is being brought is because Roaring Moon is the other option, and Ishmael might not feel great bringing Roaring Moon in a matchup when your opponent has Ice Rider, because Roaring Moon is Flying Terra as well. So, yeah, Fabian had a team sheet error, it sounds like, meaning like he can't bring the NDD. Okay, hold on. Wait. Yeah, now you do get a Fake Out available this next turn. Does get the Wake Up. I mean, there's still Wide Guard and Smeargle in the end game, but you needed that one-turn Wake immediately to stay in this game. So Fabian's definitely had good fortune in this set. Double Protect into an immediate Wake Up. And this was a great play by him. This is the only play that keeps him in this game, because you need to recycle that Fake Out. So I really like this. But there's still a couple turns of Trick Room. Protect and switch it to Smeargle. Okay. So Fabian can play offensively this turn because he has Fake Out into Smeargle plus Astral Barrage. Yep. I think if Calyrex actually attacks Smeargle there, Fabian could have also just won the game, because then you Protect again under Trick Room and then Astral Barrage. This is going to be close. High horsepower and Spore makes sense. Okay. Nice play by Ishmael, saying, look, even if I don't knock out your Iron Hands, I still get to put you to sleep. But Hands is going to be faster here under Trick Room. Fabian could have attacked there. Fabian wins now, I'm pretty sure. Trick Room is going to be stalled out. And Calyrex, yeah, getting that early wake up here. High horsepower comes out. Doesn't really do that much. Trick Room's over. Smeargle going for that Spore rather than that Fake Out. Although Fake Out wouldn't have... It's not like Fake Out plus an attack would have KO'd Hands anyway. I mean, you just Astral Barrage, Wild Charge. It's game over. Fabian finds the win by making that nice... Like, he needed to get a double protect and a turn 1 wake up to win this one, but he did it. And then you just target down Torkoal here. Yeah. I think it's like the Smeargle switching and protecting with Ice Rider means you get no offense that turn, and you're running out of turns of Trick Room, so I think you kind of need to attack with both here, honestly. Oh, we have Avatar music. Sick. Wow. Fabian pulls it off and wins another international championship. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see these two guys go up against each other in Masters Division in 5 years. But yeah, I think the dynamic of this matchup is, I would say it's slightly favored for Ishmael. And, you know, Fabian ends up winning because he gets a double protect in game 1. But it's like, even with Fabian getting lucky in game 1, Ishmael's Amoonguss Brain didn't contribute to anything. So if Ishmael had Smeargle in the back in game 1, I think he would have just won the game. And then in game 2... Yeah, I'm mainly thinking how you can cover for the immediate one-turn wake-up here. So, you know, when the matchup can be a little bit hard for you, especially because Fabian can't bring his Indie, like, he found his outs, right? He, like, did a really good job recognizing, I can't let Calyrex fall asleep. I have to conserve it in game 1. In game 2, it does get put to sleep, but there's nothing he could have really done to prevent that sleep, I think. So, yeah. But this game was entirely decided off this turn. But Fabian recognizing like he had to switch out was also really, really crucial. But yeah, the odds were definitely in Ishmael's favor for both of those. Like, he one turn wake and a double protect, right? So 1 in 3 chance for both. But this to me is the key turn. Yeah, where we see the Iron Hands reset the Fake Out. Fabian recognizing, look, Fake Out's actually really effective here. And NDD, had it been brought for Ishmael, would have been able to actually block those Fake Outs. But then the question is, who do you give up? Obviously, I think in this matchup, you want Ice Rider, you want Torkoal, and then, yeah, it's like 2 of 3 of NDD, Smeargle, and Amoonguss. But Fabian having Fake Out access in this match also allows him to claw back into it. Because if Indity is out, like what happened in game 1 was you can't stop the Glacial plus Eruption spam, which is really powerful. Ishmael also kept going for high horsepower for Hands instead of Glacial for spread damage. And those were the turn Fabian's mons were asleep. It'd be interesting if there was an exhibition match between the juniors, seniors, and masters. That would be really cool. I agree. But yeah, you know, sometimes in Pokemon, it's like if you don't have the best matchup, like you have to hope for a little bit of good fortune, and that is what happened here. I think, you know, like Ishmael's game plan made a lot of sense to me, and I'm really happy that he found that Smeargle adjustment. I was mainly thinking this end game, like, let's see, the turn let Iron Hands comes back out. Yeah, this turn. This would have been a really interesting position where you intentionally don't knock this Weezing out. Because Torkoal... Does Torkoal have Weather Ball? Basically, I was thinking, like, you could cover for Iron Hands staying out on the field, because Torkoal's always going to outpace. And so, the problem is knocking out Weezing here gives Fabian what he wants, which is a reset on the Iron Hands. Let's see. What's the Torkoal move? It has Weather Ball, right? It does. So I wonder in this position if you ever Weather Ball instead. But that was a really fast finals. We are already going to get into senior finals, which is awesome. And then, yeah, the Smeargle switch was the other turn I was thinking about. Because you know it's going to be Fake Out here. Yeah, it's Fake Out plus Astral, which would just probably knock out both. This could have been an attack this turn with Calyrex, right? And you just give up Calyrex to get the free switch him back into Torkoal. But the problem is Smeargle can't do damage either. But I think, yeah, this could have been an attack this turn. Like, because you know, like, Fake Out kind of has to go into the slot because otherwise you get popped by Eruption. So I think here Ice Rider could have attacked. Because if Ice Rider attacks in this position, then you can... Wait, what's the Smeargle moveset again? Let's see. Oh, it doesn't have Protect, though. So, but then you have Fake Out. Yeah. I think this game, Ishmael could have won if Ice Rider attacks here, because then you get High Horsepower Glacial off. And then now you have Smeargle out with Fake Out pressure on the last turn of Trick Room. So then you Fake Out Glacial, knock out Iron Hands, and it's just a 3v1 with Smeargle, Calyrex, and Torkoal. And then it's a question of whether or not Life Orb Expanding Force knocks this out. Like, do you go for Astral Barrage, expecting... yeah, do you go for Astral here? Because obviously this could Wide Guard. So you could just Expanding Force, but then if you Expanding Force into this, this could go for Follow Me. Yeah, it has Follow Me here. So that's my take. I think Ice Rider protecting there probably costs the game. Because with these Trick Room teams, you have not much time for these protects. And I think that it's really important to get that damage off, especially since Smeargle gets the pivot back in. So I think Fabian, you know, had good fortune in this set, but he also found the opportunities to win off those good fortunes. And I think Ishmael, you know, if he had brought Smeargle in game 1 instead of Amoonguss, and in game 2 attacked with Calyrex, it could have looked different too. So that's the junior divisions. Did I help Wolfie prep yesterday or today? I played a bunch of sets with Marcus to get an understanding of the matchup for Wolf last night. And he's been putting in prep work, obviously, as well. I think it should make for really interesting finals. But yeah, I was mainly thinking, do you have a guaranteed win if it's a 3v1 if you go for that Glacial Lance play that I talked about? Or High Horsepower. Like, you need a 2-shot the Iron Hands, basically. This turn. Okay. Ice Rider protects. Yeah, the problem here is hands actually being faster under Trick Room for Fabian, right? It's able to just outspeed. Bumpy poing. I think if you're switching in Smeargle, like... Fake Out wouldn't have changed anything here. It only works if you also did damage the previous turn. Do I think Wolf or Dylan has the matchup advantage? So I think Dylan's team is actually probably the hardest Miraidon team that Wolf has faced. It's very different from Arubega, which is like kind of the standard Miraidon. And Wolf like dominated against the Arubega teams yesterday because I think his like Perish is really good into Arubega. I think in this matchup, we're not going to see Perish come out. Like, it's really difficult to bring... In order to get Perish off, you need Gothitelle and the Screamtail, and both of those are obviously a liability against Dark Urshifu. And Screamtail doesn't have an attack either. So the problem is, if you were to actually try to accomplish the trap, you would need to use both of those, and only one of them can Terra, and so it's way too easy to just Wicked Blow. And so, in my opinion, those two should not... Like, it'd be like if you see it as a game 2 or game 3 adjustment, if like you're kind of going off the walls, I wouldn't bring them into game 1 personally. If you experience mic issues at all during the stream, try refreshing the stream. That's typically solved the issue for people. You might see endgame perish without trap. I do think like that is the most possible outcome if perish were to come out. The problem is you have to give up one of Insyn, Koraidon, Flutter, and Amoonguss, and all of those feel so good in the matchup. Dark Urshifu alone, by the way, makes the matchup really tough for Wolf, but then there's also Roar Frigoraph and Volt Switch and U-Turn on the Incineroar. So, yeah, I would not expect to see Scream. I wouldn't, like, Goth, I think you just probably never see because it's a huge liability into Dark Ursh, and I think Screamtail works if you, yeah, get 2 knockouts and then bring Screamtail to Perish Song. But let's get into seniors. You're popping right into it. This is the team that Justin and Shiliang Tang used at the San Antonio Regional Championships. And there aren't any differences here, right? Fairy Terra, Ice Rider. Yep. This is just exactly the team that we saw win San Antonio Regionals. Oh, maybe some different Terra types? I'm mainly curious what the EV spreads are going to be on all of these. Yeah, I'll talk about Wolf's matchup after we finish this set, but let's look here. He's won 3 consecutive EU regionals. The younger division players, like the best ones, are just so good. Yeah, no close combat on Urshifu is something that people have been doing recently. We've seen like U-Turn and Taunt being used instead of it. What are the benefits and parting shots of Parting Shot versus U-Turn on Insyn? Yeah, it's chip damage versus stat drops. Like U-Turn gives you damage, allows you to break through Focus Sashes, of course, and Sturdy as well. Parting Shot is strictly better in non-AV Insyn sets. The interesting thing is we have U-Turn Insyn on non-AV Insyn in the finals. Yeah, on the opposing side, we have what looks like Joe's team. Joe UX9 with Miraidon, Urshifu, Ditto, Grimmsnarl, Volcarona, and Iron Hands. So Miraidon obviously does a ton of damage across the board here, but you have to really worry about the Landorus from the opposing end. I think that's going to be a really pivotal Pokemon. So that's one thing to pay attention to. Grimmsnarl here obviously can try to set up the screens. Roaring Moon could set up Tailwind. So you could go Roaring Moon Landorus, for example. Ditto, I think, is the big X factor in Wild Card. Do we see it make an appearance here? Wolfie has won 1 Internationals in AIC 2019 and 2 US National Championships. All right, here we go. Urshifu plus Miraidon from Ian's end and Ogerpon plus Landorus on the opposing side. So what Ian has going for him right now is the speed advantage. You obviously outpace both of these. You threaten with Surging and just Draco here, honestly. Yeah. How do you deal with this if you're on the opposing side? This seems really tough. You could switch Ogerpon out. Oh, you know what? I mean, you could protect Terra, Water, Landorus, and then Earth Power or Sludge Bomb. But the question is, do you read the Fairy Terra? Ian's going for Fairy Terra here, so that even if we see Spiky Shield, you still survive an Earth Power. Fairy Terra comes out. Marco Silva has the most international wins. It's 3. But Wolf won US Nats in 2011 and 12 in Masters. Oh my gosh. It is no Terra, no Protect, no Switch. Draco immediately comes out. Pops the Ogerpon immediately. And this is the downside of the Justin Shiliang team. You have a lot of bulk, but you give up a lot of speed EVs on Landorus and Urshifu, so Ian just starts the game with 2 immediate knockouts. It's a perfect lead matchup for Ian. The best response from Lewis here was, yeah, like, Spiky Shield and attack with Landorus, but even then, you'd have to call the Fairy Terra on Miraidon, so I think Ian won the lead matchup completely here. Like, it was just so difficult. Amoongus is the solution here, by the way. You lead the Amoongus. But I think this is one of those games that honestly feels over after game 1, so you gotta take, like, your composure and just, like, take a step, take a deep breath, and think about what you can do differently. It's also not obviously over. We should see Ice Rider in the back, and then the big question I have is what is the 4th Pokemon? But Amoongus is what I would lead into this duel specifically if you expect to see it again. Because with Amoongus, you can Rage Powder. It's just Urshifu in the back. But yeah, like, this is the problem. Without Tailwind or Trick Room up, you just get outsped, right? Like, so you either need to go, like, Amoongus Calyrex and set up Trick Room, or Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon Landorus actually would have worked out pretty well here. But yeah, like, the key thing here on the opposing team is Landorus, Urshifu, Ogerpon. All of these are way bulkier than normal, but as a result, you invest way less in speed. Swap Lando into Amoongus and Spiky Shield Ogre. Yeah, if Amoongus were in the back, that certainly would work. So I think Amoongus, even though it feels really bad to bring into Miraidon and Volcarona, I think it could still be essential here. It is going to be a Draco into Urshifu here and Surging here. So Ian going for Draco here because it would still KO even if, I think, at -2. It could have been Draco here onto Calyrex, though. So the game's not over yet. This could have been Fairy Terra, which is why we didn't see Draco surging into this double up. Okay. Surging now. Like, you at least have set up Trick Room right. So now there's a lot of off. Ooh, Ditto Grim in the back. Whoa. That's sick. The problem here is you still can't knock out Ice Rider or Urshifu that easily. You would have to close combat and high horsepower probably. Maybe close combat Glacial gets the KO. But Ditto is really cool. You can bring Ditto to copy. I don't know if Bad Grimmsnarl actually accomplishes anything, though, so I actually think it's still possible for Lewis to win this one. Yeah, like, I think he should have just gone Fairy Terra anyway, honestly, because it just covers for Draco going into that slot. I don't know if you need to greed your Terra on this, but it ends up working out fine. Okay, so Ditto hits the field. Here's the Terra. It is going to be the Urshifu Terra. So Lewis really valuing the increased damage and surging strikes here. Oh, yeah, the Ursh just taunt over close combat. So I'm not even... Let's see. Do you get the knockout here with the double up? Ursh might survive this. Which means Ice Rider comes out for free. It should survive, I think. 82 down to 50. That was 32. Yeah, you take all 3. And now you get another surging off. And then Aqua Jet. And Ditto gets, yeah, to position out really nicely. This should survive another surging, though. Let's see. Oof. Yeah, it does. So if you're Lewis, you need to Aqua Jet here. You go for Aqua Jet here. This Urshifu should be faster. So the question then I have is, does Aqua Jet get the KO? 21 HP, Water Terra, Mystic Water? I would think so. But then Ditto should survive an attack, and then you get a Glacial Lance off in return. I think I'd protect the Ice Rider here. But you could just attack and try to get a Glacial off. He's not going to protect. Okay. Aqua Jet comes out. Does it get the KO? It should. It does, yeah. Miraidon committing that Fairy Terra, by the way, now is really awkward because... Oh, and he just wins the speed tie. Glacial just KOs here. So the problem is now Ditto gets this boost. Yeah, the speed interaction here being a really big deal. Now you can just bring out Grimmsnarl plus Ice Rider if Trick Room gets stalled out. Yeah, it has foul play here. So this is why Grim was being brought. Foul play, really good under Trick Room actually against these, which makes more sense. Yeah. So this game just kind of fell over after turn 1, though, honestly. You know what would have been cool? Like, we could have seen Protect from this, and then you could go for, like, Self Thunderwave to guarantee outspeed under Trick Room. Although that's probably not necessary. Just one thing to think about in this matchup. You can Self Thunderwave under Trick Room to outspeed. But this game fell over after turn 1. I think it's like, yeah, you don't take much damage from the opposing side, and then Grimmsnarl gets the foul play as well, and it hasn't taken damage. And I don't think a Water Terra, Mystic Water, Aqua Jet plus Glacial KOs this. And, like, for Ian, I mean, even if you stall out Trick Room, Miraidon just comes out and wins the game. So this was one off the leads to me. This was a complete dominant lead matchup, Ursh Miraidon into the opposing side, and honestly, Lewis had no response to it. Like, I think he may have just not been prepared for this lead specifically and was going out of his way to prepare for something else. But yeah, like, no Terra on turn 1 means you get popped immediately as well. I wonder if this game, like, how would it played out if you go for Water Terra, Lando turn 1, and then just Sludge Bomb into Miraidon. I don't know if Sludge Bomb even gets that KO, though. But really nice usage of Ditto here. And it's pretty rare to see back Grimmsnarl in a game like this. But it makes a lot of sense. You're not bringing it actually for the screens as much as using it for foul play. That's so cute. I love how they get to feature families more in these. So, up a game now. The question is, do you think it's going to be Miraidon plus Urshifu once again? If so, I think Amoonguss becomes a more critical Pokemon here. This offers you redirection. The scary thing is, you know, you have to respect Ditto coming out to copy your Ice Rider as well. Okay, so there's, I think, a couple things that Lewis could do. I think it could be Amoonguss lead with something, or it could be Roaring Moon with something. Roaring Moon Landers, for example, exerts a ton of offensive pressure into Urshifu plus Miraidon. So, I think both can work. The first question is whether or not you think Ian's going to go back to the same lead combo, because this was just so oppressive, right? But Ian knows that Lewis has to respond to this. So, against this duo, I think, yeah, like, you could go Roaring Moon plus Landorus, because then you pressure super effective damage into both. Amoonguss here allows you to redirect, and you have Fairy Terra, so Lewis might be, like, or Ian might be a little bit afraid to actually click that Draco Meteor, because, you know, Fairy Terra Amoonguss is on the opposing side. But I think leading to things that can just get outsped by Miraidon means, like, this is part of the reason why Miraidon is one of the best Pokemon in the format, right? It can just nuke something immediately and get that one-hit knockout. And with neither Ice Rider or Amoonguss being out on the field, it means that you cannot threaten with the Fairy Terra, so Draco Meteor is a guaranteed nuke, basically. Oh, Sludge Bomb is not even a one-hit knockout onto Miraidon. Yeah, based on that calc, 92% max, so it's going to be Ogre Ice Rider as the adjustment. Okay. This is interesting. Like, we know this is obviously super tanky. Switch songs here. Yeah, we know it's super tanky, right? The Ogre is also really slow. Like, it has no speed investment. So, okay, yeah, this is a key decision. You are up against Redirection here, and you are also up against Fairy Terra here. So if you end up Dracoing into this, and it just goes Fairy Terra, you could eat, like, an attack onto Urshifu, and Trick Room just goes up. You could safely set up Trick Room right now with Follow Me Trick Room, but then you lose a lot of resources, right? And the question is that worth it to get Trick Room up? What are you using under Trick Room to sweep? Presumably, you bring out the Urshifu then after Trick Room gets set up. But let's see what happens here. Okay. It's going to be the Miraidon committing Terra once again into Fairy. Once again, you just want to go for this Terra so you don't get popped by Glacial Lance immediately. Yeah, it's just going to be the safe Follow Me Trick Room setup. So this is like the safest play for Lewis, right? Like, I don't think there's too much downside. He misses the Draco Meteor! Oh, we saw this in the Senior Division World Championship Finals as well. Draco does not connect. That would have gotten a one-hit knockout onto this, meaning you get about 45% onto Calyrex with Surging as well. A huge miss. That is a shame. I really would have liked to see where the game state would have played out if the Draco didn't miss. Now you obviously just face Glacial Lance pressure. Glacial plus Ivy Cudgel into Miraidon. The question is whether or not that even does enough damage, because this Ogerpon has like no attack investment. But here's Glacial. Okay. I think this should KO. Yeah. So Miraidon gets popped here. The Terra ends up not really providing any value. Does Ice Rider die to Draco? It would be dependent on how it's trained. Because you can invest enough in Ice Rider to survive. We actually saw that in the Master Division World Finals. But Surging knocks out Ogerpon. Yeah, the main thing here is that Lewis can only get one knockout, so Ian can bring out Ditto now to copy Ice Rider. Ooh, he's thinking about bringing Grim out, though. Okay. Grim obviously pressures with foul play. Yeah, this is a much better spot for Lewis. I think recognizing, like I was saying, I think you need some kind of speed control, right? So I was saying either like Redirection plus Trick Room or Roaring Moon. Amoonguss was what I was thinking of over Ogerpon. But Ogre obviously offers you the redirection as well as the offense. The main thing that's interesting about Amoonguss is you pressure Fairy Terra, so might prevent your opponent from clicking Draco Meteor a little bit more. I don't know. I think like Grim here gets a foul play off, but that's not going to be enough. Calyrex could obviously Terra here as well. He's going to go for Reflect and Protect. Okay. This obviously will make Ice Rider weaker, but Urshifu from Lewis's end is still really powerful. Does go for the Fairy Terra. I don't know if I love the Reflect play, because it's like, you're still just going to get hit by Surging. I think I would have just liked to see Ditto come out more immediately, honestly. So, Reflect is set up. Glacial comes out. Calyrex does have Protect. Yeah, it's still meaningful damage on a Grim. Yeah, and Surging into Urshifu. The problem is Ian just does not have enough damage right now, right? Like, neither of these will get immediate knockouts. So, you can sell Thunder Wave now into Surging. But like, this is why I don't love Grim that much in this matchup. Grim, I think, works if you bait out the Terra. But it also makes sense, because then the question, I guess, is what else would Ian bring into this matchup, right? What else does he have? He has Iron Hands. Wait, I feel like Iron Hands should be coming out here instead of Grimmsnarl, honestly. Grimmsnarl is going to pivot out into Ditto immediately here. Yeah, someone pointed out that they want to ideally get an attack boost on the Ditto if you let the Calyrex get one. I just think it's a little too late for Ian, because I think Grimmsnarl basically does nothing in this game at this point, and Ice Rider's only offense is Glacial Lance, so I think we should definitely be going to a game 3. I wouldn't switch out here. I think you just keep attacking. You don't care because you have so much offense right now, and this is the classic problem with Grimmsnarl. It often feels like it can be a liability after the early game. I actually think Ian's best bet would have been just Thunder Wave and hoping for full paras. It's like I don't think I think it's like you just Thunder Wave those 2 turns and hope for the best. And hope to get lucky. But I think Reflect doesn't really advance the game state, and the main problem here is you're facing down an Urshifu with Surging Strikes, and it ignores the Reflect. So if I'm Ian, I think I'd like to see Iron Hands come out over Grim in the next game. And it is a shame because the Draco missed, but I think Lewis found the right idea, which is, let me just set up Trick Room. So we'll go to game 3, which is exciting. Yeah, the Grim just, like, foul play is really nice into Calyrex if it hasn't Terra'd, but it suddenly goes from an 80% attack to like a 20% attack. Glacial comes out. And yeah, this game is pretty over. The thing is, because if you have hands on Ian side, you have something that works under Trick Room, right? It does so much damage to both of these, outpaces Urshifu as well. So that's kind of like the obvious adjustment for Ian to make if you think Lewis is going to go back to this Ogerpon Calyrex Ice Rider lead. He also could have gone Volt Switch Surging Strikes with Miraidon, which also could have worked. Because I think that probably still knocks out Ogre. But let's see if any Thunder Wave shenanigans happen. I don't think it's gonna be enough here. No Para, and Ditto goes down. So we'll go to a game 3. The other question is, what lead adjustments does Ian have for Ice Rider plus Ogerpon? You could just run it back with the same thing, but is there anything else you can consider? If you think it's going to be Miraidon Ursh again, or sorry, if you think it's going to be Ice Rider plus Ogerpon here, Volk is just kind of awkward. It's Grass Terra leftovers. The problem is you feel forced to Grass Terra in front of Urshifu, Surging, and like it takes a little bit of time to get going. So if you Grass Terra this, then Calyrex Ice Rider will just hit you for super effective damage. I think Ian can run it back with Miraidon Ursh lead with Hands Ditto in the back, personally. But awesome to see a third game here. All right, game 3. Let's see what we got, folks. Tail Room is so crazy. Do I think he would try to bring Roaring Moon and try to Tailwind next game? I don't think you need to go Tailwind. I think you can still just go Trick Room. Hands and Ditto lead is one suggestion. That could be interesting. The question is, do you want to gamble your tournament life on a Ditto 50-50 immediately? Because the other thing is, if Ditto copies Ice Rider, it's weak to the opposing Ogerpon. Right? And Ice Rider... or Ditto copying Ice Rider is actually not doing a ton of damage into Ogre plus Ice Rider lead. So I personally think you can go with the same leads. Because it seems like even into a new lead mix-up, I think it's actually still decent, but just bring Iron Hands instead of Grimmsnarl. That is my take. So let's see. Yep, same lead. Is it Miraidon again? Grim is being led. Interesting. Okay. So Ian decides, you know what? I'm still going to stick to the Grimmsnarl here. Which is really interesting. It could just be Follow Me. But the thing is, then you could force Terra out, because Foul Play actually does a ton to the Ice Rider here. But it's just going to be Reflect, okay? This is really interesting. Reflect Draco. Whoa, into Ice Rider. The safe play for Lewis to make here, once again, is just Follow Me plus Trick Room. Sacrifice the Ogerpon so that you get Urshifu out under Trick Room. But Grim is the lead adjustment this time around. It will be able to set up screens. Glacial Lance won't be doing a ton of damage, but of course, there's still Urshifu waiting in the back right now. Whoa. It ends up being a Protect here on the Ice Rider. And Draco connects! He doesn't set up Trick Room. Wow. Okay, I mean, he's trying to make a hard read there, but the thing is, what do you even get off that? Ivy Cudgel? Landorus gets to come out now, okay. So you do get to set up Light Screen as well. You also have Foul Play here. So you could Draco and Foul Play. Oh, that was a really greedy play, I think, by Lewis. And the thing is, I don't love it, because even if you get the turn correctly, what do you get out of it with Ogerpon? You just do a little bit of damage. Ditto's in the back. No Iron Hands. So yeah, Calyrex has got to be feeling the pressure right now. But if Calyrex Terras and Ditto comes out, Glacial Lance just boom, boom, boom. The question I have here is whether or not you actually want to switch into this Ditto. Because I think you might He's going to go for it. I actually think, though, it's like Ditto will take a lot of damage on the switch in, and I think if you bait the Terra out of Calyrex, like, I think foul play here, staying with Miraidon is actually what I would do, and just Draco the Lando slot. Because, like, I don't think you need to conserve Miraidon if Trick Room goes up, whereas Ditto is a more important Pokemon. But let's see. It'll survive a Earth Power plus a Glacial combo. Sludge Bomb comes out. It is just a one-shot! Doesn't go for the light screen. No need for that Terra then. This is why I would have liked to see... Okay, I mean, it's... Glacial comes out. This is actually a great turn by Lewis. He doesn't set up the Trick Room. You do get Miraidon back out for free now. That also... It also could have just been Ursh out immediately, but you would force Terra out. Yeah, Ian there... I can understand why he would want to go for the foul play there. He was hoping to see Sludge Bomb into this slot. But I do feel like Ian had a big advantage, and now Lewis claws himself back a little bit into it. So, alright, let's see. The key thing, though, is you still have Urshifu in the back. So Urshifu Surging Strikes is still really, really good in this endgame into everything. Landorus protects. Yeah, double protect to see what you lock into. The problem here is now both of your Pokemon are super vulnerable next turn. Drift into Ice Rider is super safe. Yeah. Very little downside for Drift plus Glacial. The main downside there would have been, I guess, Protect Water Terra? No, you don't need a... Still tricky. You can just go for Electro Drift plus Glacial again. The question is there any chance Ice Rider can survive this? I don't think so. And Landorus would feel forced to Terra here to deal with Glacial. Otherwise, you just lose both Pokemon. All right, here's the Terra. But I don't know. It's like Water Terra probably, right? On Lando. Now that just falls to Electro Drift. Next turn. Light Screen would have been so nice for Ian to have set up, but I think it's fine because Life Orb Sludge Bomb doesn't even KO the Miraidon here. Okay, so does this Electro Drift get the one-hit KO onto Ice Rider? I would expect it to. It does, yeah. Sludge Bomb comes out. And it survives, yeah. Glacial comes out. And it's like you had to Terra here, unfortunately. The double protect, I think it's like you just allow Ian to attack for free, which is a downside. Urshifu is the last one now. You can Aqua Jet. Ooh, okay. Aqua Jet Miraidon. Aqua Jet Miraidon Earth Power. There's still Ursh in the back here. It's going to be close. I think I would still favor it for Ian, but I think Ursh is exactly the right fourth Pokemon to have here because you threaten Miraidon with a knockout before it can blow up your Landorus. I don't think Landorus knocks out Ditto either. This could be a close finish. Yeah, so Aqua Jet here. Miraidon faints. This is where I think if Light Screen were set up earlier in the game, I'm not sure Miraidon would have been in Aqua Jet KO range. So there was an opportunity to Aqua Jet earlier. Okay, does Earth Power get the KO here? It doesn't. Okay. High Horsepower comes out. Oh, man. This is so intense. Okay, so you bring out Urshifu now. You've got close combat on it. So this can always just get... It outspeeds both here. So you close combat, I think, into Landorus and then just Earth Power. Yeah. So the question is, like, this Urshifu is slower than this Urshifu. So it has to close combat this Ursh. So what you need... Oh, he's going for Glacial. Well, I don't know about that one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the question here is, did he target Urshifu with close combat? If it gets the one-hit knockout, and then can you survive a Glacial in return? Okay, let's see. Oh, he just Surgings. Don't you just faint to close combat now? Because Ian is faster with Urshifu. I guess the thing was Reflect was still set up in this game, so it probably didn't actually make that much of a difference. Yeah, actually, because Reflect was up, I can see what the idea was. The question here, this is tricky for Ian. So, you know Reflect is still up, right? So, yeah, you might want to go Surging, because if Close Combat doesn't knock out this Urshifu, then you're at -2 defense, and you might faint. So, he's going to go for the Surging instead. Okay, here we go. Close Combat should not KO. Oh, there's no Close Combat on the opposing side. Oh, then, yeah, you're right. Then this game was always just over. It wasn't close. No need to be that dramatic then. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't do enough. But it's correct to go for Surging here. If you Close Combat and drop your defense again, it gets spookier. But now you can survive Aqua Jet. So the Grim adjustment worked. I was saying Iron Hands, but setting up that early Reflect and then basically forcing Terras out and getting Miraidon out into a good position was really great for Ian. So congratulations. Ian wins. But yeah, not having Close Combat on the Urshifu here made it a lot harder. Taunt was not relevant in this, but Taunt, a very relevant move in the metagame in general. But yeah, he couldn't Close Combat here. So what could have Lewis done differently here? Let's see. Because he goes... He goes Ogre, Kali lead. Yeah, GG. I mean, turn 1, I think, was just really greedy, right? Because he just gave up Ogerpon for nothing. And Ice Rider wasn't able to get anything off of it, which I think was the biggest downside. Like, this felt like he was just trying to make a really hard read, maybe, and it didn't pay off. But I think he... Like, Lewis was playing this... Or Louis was playing this game, like, 3v4, essentially, which I think was the biggest downside. Yeah. Like, I think you have a relatively safe spiky shield. Well, it's not relatively... Okay, you can always go follow me, Trick Room. A couple things you have to be worried about. Draco into this, Foul Play into this. If you Fairy Terra, you can get Electro Drifted. So if you Spiky, Electro Drift, plus Foul Play into this, or just Electro Drift in general could be scary. Electro Drift, Foul Play. I think, like, Louis basically didn't want to commit his Terra and lose, like, a whole Pokemon and 80% here. Or you either commit your Terra, which means then you can't Terra what you have in the back. Game 1... Just completely dominance here. Landorus plus Ogerpon. I'm curious what Landorus Ogerpon was to cover for here from Ian's end. Iron Hands lead, maybe? Like, if you're Louis and you expect Iron Hands plus Miraidon, maybe? It's also not bad in a Grimmsnarl because you pressure with Sludge Bomb. Could he have gone Roaring Moon? No, you get Thunder Wave, but Roaring Moon into Grim. Amoonguss CIR lead seemed better. Yeah, I think I was saying I wanted to see Amoonguss the whole time in that matchup, because it also just makes it scary to click Electro Drift or Draco Meteor, because it's Fairy Terra Amoonguss. So I was kind of surprised Amoonguss did not make an appearance in this matchup. This, I think, could have been a bringable into the matchup. Like, I think you could go... I think you probably still want Urshifu because you're worried about Grim. But Kali, Amoonguss lead, Urshifu, one of Landorus, and Ogerpon. But yeah. Alright, well, it's time for finals, Masters, pretty soon. Let's quickly talk about this matchup a little bit. So we've got Wolf and Dylan. Let's get these team sheets up. Okay. So, Lander seems unreasonable. It doesn't do anything once Miraidon Terras. It still Sludge Bombs Miraidon with Terra. Crit does ignore screens. That's correct. But I think you could go Amoonguss. Yeah, I mean, you could drop Landers for Fire Pawn in the back, right? Because Fire Pawn is really good into Ice Rider plus the Urshifu. But I think just giving up Fire Pawn means you get rid of a key offensive tool, which means Ditto gets to come in too freely. Okay, but let's talk a little bit about the finals matchup here. So let me hold on. Webcam Chrome. Oops, webcam chat. I'm gonna disappear for a second so we can look at these. Okay, so we're previewing the Masters Finals matchup between Wolf and Dylan. Wolf has generally a very dominant matchup into Miraidon teams. We saw him dismantle multiple Miraidons in this tournament, and part of the reason why this team is really good into the standard Miraidon comps is because those teams have very little ability to pivot outside of Volt Switch on Miraidon, and so as a result, you can trap things in with Screamtail, with Gothitelle, Perish Song, Trick Room. Sorry, no Trick Room. Perish Song, Protect, Fake Out, boom. Right, so into the classic Miraidon teams, Instant, Screamtail, Koraidon, Gothitelle can be really effective. However, Dylan's team is not a conventional Miraidon team here. This is super similar to the team that Gabriel Agati brought to Worlds. Well, of course, featuring that Iron Treads, which was super dominant on stream yesterday. It was like an Iron Treads highlight reel. But you also have notably Dark Urshifu rather than Water Urshifu. You have U-Turn, Ghost Terra, Incineroar, and Roarin for a Graph. And obviously Volt Switch on Miraidon. And Ghost Terra on Treads. So, for that reason, Screamtail and Gothitelle become much harder to bring into this matchup. Gothitelle, I think, is really, really, really hard to bring. It's like you can bring it to trap something in, right? Like you can lead Goth Koraidon to trap Dylan's Miraidon in on turn 1. But if Miraidon has Farigiraf out next to it, then you block Fake Out, and Miraidon is bulky enough where it can survive Life Orb close combat. Now, Wolf's close combat will go first, so Koraidon and Flutter are the two biggest Pokemon to pay attention to in this matchup in terms of offense. So, Gothitelle, very unlikely to come out in this matchup. If it were to come out, it would be to trap something in on the lead matchup. The problem with Goth is even if you get an early lead with this, then Dark Ursh gets the switch in safely, and you can't hit anything. You can't hit the Dark Ursh at all with Gothitelle, so this slot becomes really, really bad, and Wicked Blow into it is just really powerful. Screamtail here is going to be the other option. But the thing about Screamtail is you are also going to be weak into the Dark Ursh, right? So I think like Wolf's most bringable Pokemon by far, Amoonguss, Instinct, Koraidon, Flutter main. Like this is definitely, and Koraidon, Flutter being the main lead with Instinct, Amoonguss in the back. The idea behind this lead is it's really explosive because you outspeed Dylan's side. Dylan doesn't have priority Tailwind. So I think Dylan has a bunch of possible leads. Miraidon, Farigiraf, I think is one of the main ones to think about. But you could go Instant Farigiraf, Treads Miraidon, Hands Miraidon as well. I think those are all possible. But I would keep Ursh in the back here, personally, because the idea is, I think Dylan probably wants to think about setting up Trick Room, get Ursh out under Trick Room, and then be able to Wicked Blow under Trick Room. Treads, I think, is interesting. It's something that can really throw a wrench into things. The thing about Treads, though, is that you do have you're facing Icy Wind from Flutter main, right? So Flutter main can just drop Treads' speed, and then Koraidon can pop it, right? And with no ability to protect, you are vulnerable to something like Icy Wind plus an attack immediately. Sash is a really big deal here on Flutter main as well. Someone said Screamtail would be valuable for the choice mons. The thing is, like, you have to find a way to position it, which means you have to use it after your opponent has already used their choice mons, right? So it'd be like Screamtail, leading Screamtail doesn't work. You'd have to bring it out, and then yes, you threaten Disable, but then Wolf can just, or Dylan can just switch out. And normally, what Screamtail is really good into with the specs mons, or sorry, the choice mons, is having the trap. But Gothitelle just can't come out in this matchup. But here we go. Both players are sat down, and this is truly an underdog story for Dill, who is having the best tournament run of their life. Previous best finish using the same team, Birmingham Regionals top 64. And now they're here trying to defeat an all-time great in Wolf. Will Dill be able to pull off the miracle run? We've seen some really incredible, amazing runs in this format. Patrick Connors won NAIC. Of course, coming out and defeating so many notable players. And for Dill, this could be an end to what has been an incredible run. So, the main thing that I'm really curious about in this matchup is going to be the lead from Dill. Because I think Wolf goes Flutter plus Koraidon. So does Dill go Miraidon, Farigiraf? If it's Miraidon, Farigiraf, then how the game plays out is you have a safe double up onto Miraidon turn 1 with either Moonblast, Fire, Terra, Flare Blitz, or Moonblast Close Combat. That slot will get knocked out. If you go Moonblast, Fire, Terra, Flare Blitz, Instinct can switch in, Farigiraf can set up Trick Room. But pay attention to the lead here. I think a big question is what does Dill decide to lead with? So here we go. An epic match as we conclude this tournament. Wolf, of course, using this unique Koraidon team, a format where Koraidon has been explored. Not many people have been using Life Orb on it. The Life Orb damage output, so important. Someone was asking, why would you use Close Combat over Collision Course? And the answer is because Close Combat plus Life Orb allows you to one-shot things like Urshifu and Miraidon, or potentially one-shot them, whereas Collision Course plus Clear Amulet just does so much less damage. Who do I think has the better matchup? I think the matchup is actually fairly even. Like, I think coming after yesterday, I was like, okay, Wolf, I think, has a really, really good matchup. But I think because Dill has so many unique things, it is actually it's a lot more even than most of the Miraidon matchups. And so it's not nearly as favored. But I think, like, the thing is that it would feel really bad if it's like, oh, Wolf can't bring Perish and the core 4 that he brings is weak. But I think, yeah, Flutter, Koraidon, with Instant Amoonguss is actually still just really strong. So the question is, does Dill expect those 4? Because I think that is a clear-cut combo to go with. Champion music? All right, let's do it. Let's see. Oh, this is a classic. Does Urshifu Dark make the matchup more equal than Water? It's a combo of Urshifu Dark plus Incineroar having U-Turn and Farigiraf having Roar and Iron Treads. Like, this is completely different from Arubega Miraidon in the sense that, like, Perish does not work against this nearly as effectively. So, like I said, I would not expect Gothitelle to come out in this matchup. I would be shocked to see Goth and Screamtail in the same game. Screamtail maybe can come out as an adjustment in the back in a future game, but I think for Wolf, the clear strongest Pokemon are going to be Flutter, Koraidon, Amoonguss, Incin. Roar is useful for other matchups. It's obviously helpful against Goth if Wolf were to bring it. Once again, I don't expect that to be the case, but Roar also helps against opposing Pokemon that have either set up, or if you're trying to deny them from Trick Rooming, it can be valuable. Dill has won 11 games in a row. Last loss in round 5. What an unbelievable streak. And I know I was looking at their Twitter and they were like thinking like, oh, like I'm so nervous for EUIC. And this is the tournament run of a lifetime. And if you were able to beat Wolfglick in the finals to win this tournament, the largest tournament of all time, it would truly be a cap to what might be the greatest Cinderella run of all time. Let's see. Screamtail disabling the Choicer sounds good in theory, but the problem is execution. It is really difficult to get Screamtail out safely, and if you are doing it, you are obviously going to be just clicking disable with it. Like, you don't have the Perish, potential nearly as much, and so you could do it, but I think it's really hard to execute. So let's see. Expect Flutter Mane and Koraidon from Wolf's end, and from Dill, the question is, are we going to see Miraidon plus Farigiraf? I think that is one of the strongest combos for Dill, but I think Wolf's lead of potentially Flutter Mane plus Koraidon as a response to it. Other leads that I think Dill could go for. Incin plus Farigiraf, because then you just pressure Fake Out, Trick Room. Treads Miraidon could work too. It's going to be Incin Dark Ursh. Okay. So I think Dark Ursh here being led is good for Wolf, in my opinion. I think basically in this position, Wolf is going to get intimidated, but Dark Ursh is going to be the main problem, right? So if you can take care of it early, that's a really big deal. Now, obviously, there's Fake Out available here. You do pressure with Fake Out plus Wicked Blow immediately. This is honestly not a lead I had anticipated seeing from Dill. Out of all the possible leads I had thought about, I thought Dark Ursh would almost normally come in the back. So I'm really excited to see that is what has been brought here. So Wolf's thinking about switching into the Incineroar immediately here. Get that Intimidate off. He's thinking about, do I want to close combat here? There's so many things you could go for, right? He's taking his time. He's thinking about just clicking that close combat into the Urshifu. Oh, into Instant. Okay, no, it's going to be into Ursh. Flutter's going to switch out. Instant now gets an Intimidate off, reducing close combat damage output. Did Dill go for a Fake Out plus close combat into Koraidon? It is Fake Out into Koraidon. Goes for the safe Fake Out. Koraidon flinches. Is it Wicked Blow? It is. Okay, so ends up being a fairly neutral trade for both players here. Dill clearly wants to get Flutter Mane down to Focus Sash, right? So showing the prioritization on it. Wolf has Fake Out pressure right now, but just trying to switch out immediately, saying, I think you have to protect in front of this. You could just close combat into the Incineroar slot. You have Fake Out close combat available right now, but it's going to be the pivot to potentially Flutter. Here we go. The question is, what does Dill want to do with what's in the back? Instant pivots out. The Fake Out close combat here is so obvious that you would expect the Urshifu to protect. Instant here could Ghost Terra, by the way. Could Ghost Terra to get around close combat. Yep, I think that might be what's coming out. Nice. Yep, goes for the Ghost Terra. Great play here. I really like this. It does mean that Miraidon now cannot go for Fairy Terra. Urshifu detects. So this is a really safe play by Dill. It covers for Fake Out close combat into Urshifu and close combat into Incin. U-turn here into Flutter Mane. That's a big deal because it breaks that Focus Sash. So really, really nice play there by Dill. Dill still has to get the offense going though, right? Like Flutter Koraidon is still really scary. Pressures a double up and a knockout into any slot, but it is going to be Farigiraf hitting the field. So you know what you could do now if you're Dill is switch Urshifu out, back out into Incin, and set up Trick Room now. And you can see Wolf's considering the Shadow Ball into the Urshifu. Shadow Ball, Fire Terra, Flare Blitz, double up, trying to knock out the potential instant switch in. This also obviously covers for if Ursh just attacks here. Yeah, so Wolf's just going for guaranteed damage here. Shadow Ball plus Fire Terra, Flare Blitz. But I think Dill is okay losing Incineroar if it means getting Trick Room up. Amoonguss now, however, from Wolf's end, becomes a huge threat. Wolf still has Terra available as well. So Amoonguss under Trick Room can get really spooky. And the Ghost Terra was really safe on Dill's end. But it means now Dill does not get a Terra to take advantage of. And it also means it allows you to hit the instant for super effective damage as you switch in like this. But I think it was still correct to go for. Flare Blitz comes out. Instant faints. Miraidon surely in the back though. Yep, that's a really good point. It definitely will be in the back. So Incineroar faints. And now you get Trick Room up. And Dill's strategy is to guarantee Trick Room up in this game, so this is big. You get a free switch in now into Urshifu. Trick Room gets set up. What do we see? Switch in. Could be Miraidon or Ursh right now. I think Ursh is probably a little bit better. Yeah. Koraidon's double intimidated, but it still will demolish Urshifu with a close combat. Koraidon has taken so much damage though at this point. So you have Wicked Blow pressure into Flutter Mane. This is a big turn. I think Dill's put themselves into actually a fairly solid position, but Wolf has a lot of things to kind of weather the storm under Trick Room. Considering just Moonblast and close combat here, the idea is I'm going to get Urshifu low enough where a Amoonguss Sludge Bomb can just finish you off. You can only knock out one of these two Pokemon right now. But Ursh could protect here as Farigiraf goes for a Psychic. No protect from Ursh. It's just going to be that Psychic here onto the Koraidon. That's a lot of damage. Wicked Blow into Flutter Mane. This is getting really scary for Wolf, I think, because Miraidon now looks incredible. Like, you get Miraidon under Trick Room, right? So Close Combat comes out. Amoonguss will be the switch-in likely from Wolf's end. Actually, you could bring in... you could bring in Ensign, but... yeah, I think Amoonguss makes more sense. Really tense first game, though. Okay, Amoonguss hits the field. Now you have Sludge Bomb into Urshifu. Switch into Ensign. I like this play. He's thinking about Sludge Bombing Farigiraf, predicting maybe an Urshifu Detect. We know Koraidon's in the back. Dill is really looking to just, get that Koraidon out, start spamming damage. So Sludge Bomb. Oh, this is such a tense turn. Wolf, does he go for the safe Sludge Bomb into Urshifu? Does Urshifu protect or switch into Miraidon? This is a really big turn. He's going for the prediction. Okay, he's hoping it's Urshifu Detect here, but Urshifu switches. This is a great play by Dill. This is so tense. I give the advantage to Dill right now, honestly. Fantastic play from both ends, but I think Dill recognizes most of the damage from Wolf's end into the Koraidon, or Miraidon is going to come from Flutter and Koraidon. So the way that Dill preserved the Miraidon until the end is brilliant, because I think most of the time you would expect Miraidon to be led in this matchup. So wonderful preparation here from Dill's end. I think it's fantastic. Sludge Bomb into Farigiraf, but that does no damage. And the Psychic into Amoonguss! What a beautiful play! Oh, Sunlight expires. I mean, this is looking so tough for Wolf. That was... Dill calls the turn perfectly. You can't Spore there because Electric Terrain is up, and I think Dill bringing this Miraidon in the back is brilliant. Just absolutely genius. You can see why they've won 11 games in a row to get themselves into the finals right now. Miraidon is so immaculately positioned right now. Psychic is still doing so much damage. Fantastic play. Terrain is up now as well. Heavy advantage to Dill here. It's not over. Wolf's trying to stall out this Trick Room. But I think it's really hard because it's like... you probably go Rage Powder Amoonguss the next turn. Sludge Bomb comes out on a Farigiraf. Another Psychic comes out. Does not knock out the Amoonguss. Spadef Drop, not really relevant. Electro Drift into Instant. Super safe play here. Yeah, and let's see. You could protect Parting Shot. That doesn't even really work. Phenomenal play by Dill. This was just masterclass in not only the lead alone, because I think from Dill and there's so many different combos, and a lot. I was anchoring to Miraidon Farigiraf when I was thinking about this matchup. I'm trying to think how Wolf can even win this one, honestly. I don't see an out. Okay, wait, actually, sorry. Okay, now I can see what he's trying to go for. So he's going to double protect, and then he's going to Rage Powder with Amoonguss and Parting Shot into Miraidon, probably. Yeah, double protect this turn. Double protect, stall out Trick Room, Rage Powder. Double protect. Yeah, fails. And that's probably just game. Because you get to drift into Instant now, and there's just too many Pokemon. Oh my goodness. You can see the value of why people love Miraidon Farigiraf. Electric Terrain, Armor Tail, all putting in so much value here. And the last time Wolf was in a finals where he had a night to prepare, he went up one game. So going down one game here is really scary. He's gonna think of some new game plans now. Once again, Instant plus Urshifu, a brilliant lead from Dill. And I think Dill's play in this game was honestly flawless. Like, the Ghost Terra here covered for any option Wolf could have gone for that turn, knowing you're not facing knockoff. The Trick Room was beautifully timed. Sacking Instant was totally fine because you give Dill the free switch in. So and then Psychic into the Amoonguss. Like, this turn when there's an Amoonguss here and there's a Koraidon. Koraidon maybe could have gone for an attack onto the Miraidon, switch in, but instead it switches out. And then Miraidon beautifully positioned. I think, like, it's rare to see end Miraidon being used like this. Like, when you see a Miraidon teams, people almost always lead it. So I cannot stress enough that Dill conserving Miraidon was a big deal. Because the way that Wolf was thinking about approaching this matchup, I think, is you want to essentially... And we see close combat come out here. And it doesn't knock out Miraidon. This is a 50-50 damage calc, I'm pretty sure. Okay. And Drift comes out. What a game one, folks. What a finals. It's rare to see Wolf get pushed like this in a game one. I think, like, one of the things that makes Wolf such a strong player is he wins game one so frequently. And as a result, even if he loses game two, he's such a good player in terms of making those adjustments. But this was an incredible game by Dill. Just absolutely phenomenal. Like, honestly, I think it's flawless. I do not think I would have changed a single move that they made. This is what I love about Pokemon. Like, Dill's best finish before this tournament was top 64 at a regionals, right? And now here they are on the biggest stage possible. No more nerves possible than here against the end boss of VGC. And they're playing out of their minds. Absolutely incredible. Wow. The thing is, what do you do if you're Wolf now? Like, what is the adjustment is the question. As Helping Hand just comes out. Go, Miraidon. Ocean in the comments points out Dill has an advantage because they feel like they know what Pokemon Wolf is going to bring due to the outs to Perish Trap. Yeah, so to me, I think, like, Dill's prep was really good here. Ursh lead is not something you would expect because it feels like such a pivotal part, but I think what Dill recognized is you cannot deal with Miraidon that easily if one of Flutter and Koraidon are KO'd. So Dill really prioritized getting damage onto them early and got Miraidon out in the perfect position. Does Dark Ursh make Perish Trap worse? It doesn't just make it worse, it makes it nearly unbringable. And if it's just Dark Ursh and it's the classic, like, Whimsicott stuff, it's more doable. But Dill also has Incin and with U-Turn and Frugraph with Roar. So Perish is not nearly as viable of a strategy here. That was just such a sick game one. Like, absolutely phenomenal. Dill is now one game away from winning the largest Pokemon tournament of all time. The turn when Miraidon switched in was risky. It wasn't actually that risky because you were at -2 with Koraidon. So even if you went close combat Sludge Bomb into Miraidon, it would still survive. Oh, I'm so eager to see what the adjustments are here. I think if you're Wolf, like, Incin plus Ursh means you probably want to conserve one of Flutter or Koraidon. You could lead your Amoonguss immediately, I think. You could go Incin Amoonguss instead as a lead adjustment. I think Amoonguss lead in general would work out well for Wolf here. All right. The U-turn was so sick as well. So nice. So let's see. The damage roll from Koraidon to Miraidon is at best a 50-50 based on Dill's HP investment. Someone suggests that Wolf has to work in his Perish Trap. I don't think, like, I think it's so hard. I don't see how you execute it, basically, is the problem. All right, game two. Dill is up one game against Wolf Glick. This Koraidon has bested so many Miraidon teams, but Dill's team is built different. No Whimsicott, Iron Shreds, Dark Urshifu. Instant Furgraph, a new lead once again, not going with that Miraidon. It's Koraidon Flutter Mane once again. I give advantage to Dill here. This is actually one of the leads I was most afraid of. So I had run this matchup a bunch last night with Marcus Stadter. Wolf looks a little dejected, honestly. But yeah, I run this matchup a bunch, and basically what's really important is the trades, right? And so if you lead Miraidon Furgraph, you kind of get a guaranteed knockout, but now you get Intimidate. You have Fake Out. It's a free Fake Out Trick Room here. He's going for Fire Terror, Flare Blitz, Moonblast. Okay, you could close combat into the Incin here, right? Dill has a really safe Fake Out into Koraidon and Trick Room. The question is, does Dill overpredict right now? Dill does not switch out. If it's just fake out Trick Room, which is the safe play here, Dill gains an immediate advantage. You've baited out Terra already from the Koraidon. I think Dill's lead adjustments here were so smart. Fake out into Koraidon. It's a beautiful turn for Dill here. Moonblast was less than half. Special attack drop actually can be a little bit spooky. Yeah, I was thinking Wolf could go Amoonguss in this one, but Dill now has Trick Room up. So from Wolf's end, now can he stall out this Trick Room? You have no parting shot here. You have a lot of damage this turn, right? So you could close combat into instant, protect Fluttermane, or you could attack the Farigiraf. Dill could obviously double up on a Fluttermane with Flare Blitz Psychic right now. So if you're Dill, you could go Terra Insyn, Flare Blitz Psychic, Fluttermane. Wolf then is the question of, do you protect the Fluttermane and go for the obvious protect? Flutter ends up switching here. You can see Dill react. I think was hoping to try to catch the Fluttermane here. So a great turn by Wolf, presumably. Let's see. Whoa! The knockoff into Koraidon. Gets rid of the Life Orb. Close combat into Insyn. Insyn survives! No Life Orb. Intimidate. Not Collision Course. Damage extra. Boost. Rocky Helmet comes out. Is it Psychic? Oh! What? The side roar. I'm trying to figure out like the main explanation for that. You get Miraidon. Miraidon has hit the field now. Side roar just guarantees that you, like, what Dill was trying to go for there is saying, look, wait, okay, that's really cool because basically Dill is like, look, I get to attack you. If you protect, then I switch out anyway. This. Oh, this is incredible. Oh my god, I mean, like, okay, let's see. How do you get out of right now? Miraidon is perfectly positioned. Wolf's trying to go for a parting shot. Yeah, just reduce the damage output a little bit, but you take so much damage on the switch in. Frigg makes the switch here, gets rid of that special attack drop as well. Iron Hands is the adjustment now. This time around, no Dark Urge even brought into this matchup. Oh my gosh. Koraidon protects. Free protect into parting shot. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is not over by any means. People are calling it over for Wolf. It's not over by any means. Because once you stall out that Trick Room, you still have your Fluttermane and your Koraidon, or these are two of your most powerful Pokemon. But, I mean, Dill has just been playing so freaking well right now. Normally, when you see people play against Wolf, it's people responding to Wolf's game. It feels like Wolf is responding to Dill's game right now. This could be the greatest run of all time in VGC history if Dill pulls it off. And they are in a solid spot. Amoonguss comes out. Okay, it's going to be Volt Switch into Koraidon here. You now have Fake Out plus Volt Switch. You could also call the Amoonguss switch in here. I do think Dark Urge actually wouldn't have been bad for Dill here, because under Trick Room, you can just Dark Terra Wicked Blow into everything. But you should never count Wolf Glick out. Koraidon switches out now. Instant switches in. Okay. The thing here is you have to respect Rage Powder plus an attack. So does Dill go for the obvious Fake Out? They do. So you'll be able to Fake Out and now Volt Switch into the Incineroar slot. Guaranteed damage. Get a free switch in. Back out. That's a lot of damage there. You can get the Farigiraf pivoted in now. But it's going to be the Incineroar. Okay. This makes sense because with this, you pressure another Fake Out. Fake Out Drain Punch. So So Wolf's thinking about going for the protect here. Let me stall out this Trick Room. Going for Sludge Bomb here. If you Sludge Bomb into Instant, that makes sense. Yep. Wolf could still totally pull this one off. Okay, Iron Hand switches. Hands into Farigiraf here would be an amazing play. Oh, this is actually also really strong. Because now you fake out into Amoonguss, presumably. And Wolf protected with Instant, so Miraidon is so well positioned. Oh, but no fake out. That's huge. I think fake out onto Amoonguss there would have been game defining, because then you have another Intimidate and fake out into Dill's End. But I think now Farigiraf can come out and set up... Oh, Farigiraf's not coming out. I was thinking Farigiraf could set up Trick Room. I feel like Dill could have brought Farigiraf out, Fairy Terra Dazzle. Is Trick Room still up? Okay, we're gonna see Parting. This is so tense. What Wolf is aiming for is to just have Fluttermane and Koraidon pivoted on the field at the same time. He still has enough Pokemon to work with here. Trick Room just ended. Yeah, I think Farigiraf... I think Dill could have brought Farigiraf out and then set up Trick Room again. It's just going to be fake out here. Amoonguss flinches. Volt Switch here. Still has Terra available. Frick can come back out onto the field. Yeah, I don't know. I think Frick over hands, set up Trick Room again. I don't know how Wolf can respond to that. Because now you bring out Koraidon if you're Wolf. I wonder if this actually just straight up comes down to if... Now you Rage Powder Amoonguss. Ooh, thinking about Flare... Okay. Yeah, Rage Powder, Flare Blitz makes sense. It's going to be a really close finish. Dylan will not be able to set up a second Trick Room in this game. Does Dill switch out Iron Hands this turn? Ooh, okay. It's going to be Miraidon switching in here, so it will be able to take that Flare Blitz. And Koraidon will take a ton of damage and recoil as well. Oh, did you click close combat? Oh, it's CC. Then, oh, I don't like that switch. I was hoping to see if Flare Blitz maybe. Oh, okay. There's right. That's the Life Orb was removed, so you don't get the KO there. Yeah, I don't like that. I think Wolf just wins with Koraidon Flutter now, though. I think if Dill just brought Farigiraf out and set up Trick Room with Miraidon, that would have been it, honestly, because you get Miraidon under Trick Room, and you can just Fairy Terra Dazzling everything with Iron Hand support. I think it's too much damage. So I was really surprised, because I think, like, Wolf's... His main way to win this is to conserve Flutter and Koraidon. Wolf should win this. If it were Grass Terra on the Iron Hands, that would have been game-winning here. But I think this was a risky switch. If you had actually just... Because this had no more Life Orb, if you sacrifice Farigiraf, Miraidon gets to come in for free, and then you can just Draco plus knock out. Oh, Heavy Slam KOs, though. It's not over. Hold on, it's not over. Flutter's at full HP, though, so it's looking good. Frick comes out now. Okay. Just going for Flare Blitz. No Life Orb here, but you can double up onto Iron Hands. I don't think Hands is going to survive this. This should be over, but it's going to be the Terra here. from Iron Hands, presumably. If Hands... I mean, this Hands is actually really bulky. If Hands survives this, Dylan wins. Here we go. Shadow Ball comes out. That's not much damage. Spadef Drop, not really relevant here. Flare Blitz comes out. Does it do enough? You need the knockout. That's a KO. We're going to game 3. Oh my goodness. Oh, Dylan's built up such a good advantage in this game. I think it's just bring out Farigiraf and set up Trick Room again. But yeah, if Hans survives that, you win, but I just don't think Hans is surviving that. Sun boosted, Fire Terra boosted. Oh my goodness. What a finals. But you gotta feel for Dill. Dill had the lead advantage and built up a really good start in this one. Just needed to... If you set up Trick Room twice in this game, like, I think basically Miraidon under Trick Room, incredible, right? I also think switching in Miraidon may have been a mistake. I think you give up Farigiraf to get the free switch in into Miraidon, because then you have Miraidon plus Hands. But with Frigg and Miraidon, Electric Train stopped and Amoonguss would have gotten a free Spore. Oh, is that the case? If terrain was over, then yeah, you can't do that, actually. But you pressure with Psychic if you bring it back out, and you can Volt Switch out still. To me, though, like, what this matchup has shown to me is, chances of Wolf going for Perish Trap since he didn't bring Urshifu. It's possible. It's definitely possible, guys. It is certainly possible. Yeah, terrain was over then. So yeah, that play I'm talking about actually doesn't work. Yeah, I can see why the Hands came out. Then I think it's the Farigiraf switching out and Miraidon taking as much damage as it did, because the Life Orb was removed from Koraidon, so you know you can survive an attack. This is such a crazy finals. The side roar really cool as well. Dill could have Ghost Terra'd Incin in that position. I think if Incin Ghost Terra'd there, Dill... Like, I think Dill was maybe trying to predict a little bit too hard in this one. There was no Fake Out onto Amoonguss. There was no Ghost Terra on Incin. There also could have been Heavy Slam on Amoonguss the turn that it was Rage Powdered. I think if you knock out the Amoonguss there immediately, you don't get another Rage Powder. We're going to game 3. The thing is, does Wolf stick to Flutter Koraidon? Because Dill has shown really good lead adjustments to Flutter Koraidon. People are asking, do you think he'll go to Perish Song in this third and final game? I still think the answer is no. Like, you just don't have enough tools to work with. Oh my goodness. It's actually less about what I think the lead adjustment from Dill is. I think it's what lead adjustment does Wolf go for. And I think it's maybe leading Amoonguss to force out Miraidon to hit the field. Close Combat comes out. I know everyone wants to see the Perish. It would be cool, but I just don't think it's consistent enough here. I think Wolf brings the same, but he switches the order. I think Amoonguss Koraidon lead could work here. Or Instant Amoonguss? Instant Amoonguss isn't that great against Farig Instant, though, I suppose. But I think in this game, Dill could have gone Ghost Terror on Instant, and then the turn let Sludge Bomb hit the Instant, or it could have been Fake Out into Amoonguss as well. The pressure is through the roof for both of these. Okay, third game. Dill has played so well in this one. But Wolf does not give up, finds a way to claw back in game 2. And we go down to this final decisive game 3. I feel like Wolf's not going to lead Flutter Koraidon again, but I'm curious. Like, I think an Amoonguss lead or an instant lead here could make some sense. Dill's goal should be to set up Trick Room and then sweep under Trick Room. Get enough damage under Trick Room. Do I think this finals is so close because of Dill being a lesser known and therefore more unpredictable player? I actually don't think... I mean, like, that can contribute to it, but I think Dill's game plans were really smart here. I'm curious if Wolf adjusts away from Flutter Koraidon and Dill goes Miraidon Frigoraph. Oh my goodness, let's see. Pressure is through the roof for both players. But I think what's worked for Dill is essentially getting Miraidon out under Trick Room safely and doing a lot of damage. The problem for Dill that last game was Amoonguss was out on the field. Here we go. It's Koraidon Flutter once again. Instant Dark Urge once again. It's a run back from game 1. Okay. Last time we just saw Fake Out Wicked Blow. Koraidon Flutter switched out into the Instant. Could double protect here on turn 1. But if you double protect, you obviously face something like Wicked Blow or Close Combat. So I probably would not advise that. Close Combat. Ooh, double up here. Maybe. Okay, no, thinking about Moonblasting Instant. I'm curious if Instant just rips the Terra here immediately. Okay, no Terra, but you do get the damage onto Urshifu, which is a big deal. Ursh brought down to Sash immediately. But Dill's happy with this trade, I think. Oh, it's Close Combat. Okay. So, the expectation was maybe Wolf goes into the Instant once again. But Wolf doesn't. Gets the damage onto Urshifu. That's a big deal. Thinking about Close Combating, thinking about Flare Blitzing. You obviously have Sucker Punch from Urshifu coming out right now. But it won't knock out Koraidon. Things are so tense right now. Urshifu threatens Flutter Mane with Sucker Punch. The thing here is if Wolf loses one of these two Pokemon, Miraidon still is really strong under Trick Room. Just thinking about going for the Flame Charge. Does Instant go for the clear Terra here? This is such a tense turn. Flame Charge here. Is it Shadow Ball? Ooh. Switch into Instant. This is a really safe play. Did Instant also commit Ghost Terra here? It does. Advantage to Wolf here after this turn. Dill's goal right now, though, is to set up that Trick Room. I think Ghost Terra is still correct here. And if I were Dill, I probably would have gone the same Ghost Terra, Sucker Punch, U-turn into Flutter Mane. Sucker does go into that slot. Flame Charge comes out. Speed Boost not really relevant here. The thing, though, is now you can U-turn out. Oh, it goes for Blitz. Is this KO? It does! I mean, it should be shocking, I guess, but I think that's a big knockout to get, honestly. Because... Oh, but you Terra'd! So Flutter Mane does have Moonblast into the... Koraidon, or Miraidon. Wolf also crucially does not have that knockoff. Koraidon is down. Frigoraph switches in. This is so tense. Traded knockouts. Shadow Ball into Instant will deal super effective damage. You have Shadow Ball and Flare Blitz into that slot. Yep. Shadow Ball, Flare Blitz. Is Terra still available from Wolf's End as well? Dill will be able to set up Trick Room. Instant switches out. How much does this do? Electric Seed now active on Frigoraph. Wolf going for the... I think you, yeah, definitely double up on the Instant there. But the question is it worth it for Dill to sacrifice the Instant in that slot? Moonblast would have been really scary there. That's not a ton of damage. Spadef drop is a little spooky. That's not enough. No Flare Blitz burn, crucially. Trick Room gets set up. Okay. Oh. Wolf not having knockoff here is scary. You can now have Instant as a pivot. Flutter is just going to go down to a double up. You can protect Flutter parting shot here. Oh my gosh, this is so tense. This is one of the best finals we've seen in a long time. Protect parting shot, yep, that's the play. But Marat, you could Draco Psychic Instant right now. Switching for a graph also works. You get the Intimidate off here. I like this play a lot by Dill, I think. Probably Volt Switch into Flutter main. Yeah, so Instant's gonna parting shot. This now means this next turn, Dill has Fake Out available. This also could be an Electro Drift or Draco Meteor just straight up into Amoonguss right now. This is one of the tensest finals we've ever seen. Volt Switch calls it! Calls the Protect. Pivots Freakref back out into the field. It could have been a Draco there. But it wouldn't have KO'd with the special attack drop. Good call out there on the Protect. Wolf obviously could have like protected Instant there and just attacked, but that's obviously a huge risk. Freakref hits the field once again. Thinking about just going for Shadow Ball here. Flare Blitz is doing a lot right now, though. Shadow Ball, Dark Terra, Rage Powder is the consideration here. The thing is, Freakref can't actually do anything right now. You could Helping Hand Flare Blitz. I think I give the advantage to Wolf right now. Dark Terra now has hit the field, yep. I think Miraidon probably wanted to stay on the field and threaten with damage. Helping Hand Flare Blitz in the sun is the play here. Amoonguss Rage Powders. Remember, Dill... Okay, it's going to be Flare Blitz. It gets the KO, but does Shadow Ball knock out Instant in return? It's a lot of recoil damage. I assume yes. If this doesn't KO, though, it's huge for Dill. It does KO. It gets the crit! I don't think that mattered, but I'm not sure. Oh my goodness. And you still have the Focus Sash intact. He wins because you can't knock out both. Oh. Okay, let's see. Instant hits the field. I don't think Psychic is even a 3 at KO onto Flutter. Fake Out is blocked right now. The thing is, Dill needs to knock out Instant with Miraidon. Trick Room is still up. Yeah, the Instant Terror here ends up costing Dill. It's not Assault Vest Instant. It's Rocky Helmet. And it should be Timid Flutter main. Dill cannot win. You have to, like, yeah, you have to Psychic here, okay? That's a lot. Special Defense. Ooh! This doesn't KO, I don't think. And now you Drift Instant? The burn doesn't matter here. I think Dill pulls it off. Did the burn just save Wolf the game? The burn did it! Is it enough? Oh, Trick Room is just over. Trick Room's still up. It's over. Faria can't beat the Ensign. If Dill just drifted into Ensign, that was game over. But it targeted Fluttermane. The game was like, because especially with the Spadef drop, even without the drop, you just Psychic. Like, Psychic was doing enough to the Fluttermane. I think Dill was reading into a Protect on Ensign there. That was... Oh my god. I forgot the Trick Room was still up. Dill had it. Dill literally had it. If it was just drift into Ensign, that was game over. What a set. And Faria can never beat Ensign. Oh my goodness. Dill played so well. Yeah, they were calling out Protect Ensign, try to double up onto Flutter. And Wolf does not go for the Protect there in the end. I think that was one of the hardest finals probably for him ever to win. He's down one game. Dill makes so many good adjustments as well. But he still pulls it off. Wow. How much did that Psychic do even without Spadef drop? Let's see. Unreal. That was such a good... The burn didn't end up mattering. The burn wasn't relevant. Okay, let's see this endgame. Helping Hand Flare Blitz. Yeah, KOs the Amoongus. This is a huge turn. Baits out Terra. Ensign getting baited into Ghost Herring was really valuable in Fluttermane dealing with this. Oh my goodness. This is how Pokemon is so close, though. All it takes is one different move, and Dill wins this game. If it's just Electro Drift and Ensign, the game's over. You can see Wolf thought he lost here. Because Psychic was doing a ton. It's a 3-hit knockout on a Fluttermane. So in this position, because Trick Room is up for 2 turns, what Dill thought would happen here is Ensign just protects, right? If Ensign protects and you Electro Drift into it, Moonblast just KOs you. So this was basically a read. Do I think Ensign's going to protect here? And Wolf decides to just attack. But at this point, Wolf probably thinks he's lost the game. If it's Drift into here, it's literally just GG. He's watching, he knows. And as soon as Flutter goes down, he, like, this is also crazy because if Trick Room just ends here, then Miraidon could, I was thinking the burn would matter because I was like, oh, Trick Room ends, you double protect, and then you win the game. But Frigg not being able to touch the Incineroar here. Oh my. How is Flare Blitz? Wait, how is it, what's a 3 KO? Oh my god. Yeah, the burn didn't matter. It was just a 50-50 in this endgame, basically. And Wolf calls it. I think the other thing is, yeah, so Dill played really well. Like, I don't think Dill made any clear mistakes, right? Psychic drop would have mattered more. I think Psychic was a 3-8 KO on a Flutter anyway. Man, it just, yeah, literally just came down to this. Dill pushed Wolf so hard. Like, they played so well. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, let's calc the Ensign. Let's see. This should be Timid. That was an incredible, incredible finals. Let's see. I doubt Instin's like max HP, max Spadef, but if it is, oh, we should listen to the interview. One sec. It really depends on the Instant spread on that crit. Oh.
I want to talk about this series because going into this matchup looks a little difficult. So I want to know your champion.
Unbelievable.
Wolf-Click Pokemon trainers.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing. Coming right down to the wire in such a tough matchup as well. The fortitude shown by Wolf to accomplish another international championship is just incredible. You've got to give all credit to Dill as well. Did amazing.
Wow.
Took Wolf right to the wire there. But the trick room really backfiring in the end. That one turn left was able to be enough where the Flare Blitz could have
I'll make
taken
it louder.
that on. And even if the Protect had come out, the burn might have been enough anyway. And the Farigiraf only having that Psychic would have been stuck to do any damage at all. Wolf identifying the win con and taking this championship.
I'm absolutely shook, completely speechless by the way that game 3 ended. The Psychic really being so detrimental to the Farigiraf in the end, and Wolf-Click just proving that world champ diff also.
Yeah, I thought it was in the range of. I didn't think Flutter was ever or Instant was ever surviving that.
Absolutely amazing. We wanted 3 games. We got 3 games. Both.
Bit louder, please.
Okay. Need to be extremely proud of themselves. I think the adjustments in game 2 in particular, after game 1, felt so tough for Wolf. Which is amazing to see. And then
it's just so crazy that if it was just drift into Instant, it's just over. It literally, like some of these finals that Wolf, because when he played against Ashton in Orlando was also basically a 50-50, and that was a damage roll. Does Flare Blitz get the knockout onto Gold and go?
They've not only got the match to think about.
Dill played incredibly. That was so impressive.
So it's just testament.
Yeah, I don't think that crit mattered. I didn't think it mattered in the moment, and as someone pointed out, it's Rocky Helmet Instant, so yeah, it would make sense for it to be more defensively invested.
I think we're going to have a chance to throw it over to the stage. Sierra looks like they're set up ready. So let's hear from our current
The reason Dill didn't attack the Flutter main was because, or sorry, the Instant was because Instant had Protect. So if you attack into Protect, Flutter main just Moonblast KOs your Miraidon.
Other than your EUIC champion, Wolf-Click. One more time, everyone. That was such a crazy set. Just what's going through your mind right now? International champion.
Wolf is small odds with Moonblast drops. That's true, yeah.
I'm just thinking about the scope. There were 1,400 players who signed up for this tournament, who entered this tournament, the biggest official Pokemon tournament of all time. 1,400 players trained their Pokemon, traveled to London, practiced with a friend, worked on their team. 1,400 people showed up to this tournament hoping and dreaming to win the entire thing. But it wasn't enough!
He's so good.
I mean, what you're able to accomplish as a player is truly inspiring time and time again. And out of all things, this Parrish team that you're renowned, you are known for. So I need your thoughts on that, because I don't think you've ever lost a finals with Parrish.
I don't think I've ever lost a tournament with Parrish, honestly. Yeah, you know, I mean, I just felt really lucky because I qualified for Worlds in Toronto, and so initially I just started building this team for fun. I was like, oh, you know, Parrish song, I like it. Like, it shouldn't work. We have like Shadow Rider and Urshifu and like a whole bunch of other messy Pokemon, but I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. And it didn't work at first. Like, I was trying it, I couldn't get it together. But in the process of building this team, I discovered Life Orb Koraidon. And immediately I was like, oh, hold on a second, we got something here. And so, yeah, it wasn't even really my intention to like build for EUIC. I just wanted to know like how hard it would be. But by like kind of combining this Life Orb Koraidon with my favorite strategy of Parrish Trap, it just worked in this incredible way. And so I thought, you know, like I've already qualified. Like I know this is a really weird team. Like nobody's used anything like this, but I don't know, like I want to give it a shot. Like if I can't do it, who can?
I mean, you said it better than anyone else could here. And I want to talk about this series because going into this matchup looks a little difficult. So I want to know your thoughts and your preparation heading into that.
So when I saw the matchup last night, I went, uh-oh. And then I was like, well, maybe it's not that bad. And my friends, Aaron Zheng and Marcus Hamann, they were like, oh, Wolf, like, you're really tired. Like, we'll play the matchup for you. Like, we'll play both sides. We'll see how it feels. And I got a message that was like, well, at best, it's probably 80-20, and it's the 80's not on your side. And so when I heard that, I stayed up till 2 in the morning, really trying to think through the different options, and then, yeah, like couldn't fall asleep because I was thinking about it, and then, yeah, spent like, I don't even know how many hours today working on it, and so in the end, it took a lot of work, and Dylan still played incredibly, and it was like right down to the wire. So, yeah, massive props to them. Like, I think Dylan is a relatively new player, but the level of play, at least from how it felt to me, the level of play that they demonstrated there makes me feel very confident that we'll be seeing a lot more of them in the future.
Dill, honestly, that was like world champion caliber play by them.
Right down to the wire. I want to know how you navigate that game 3 end game, where to find advantage, the moment you know that you won.
When I saw the Electro Drift targeting Flutter main, that was the moment. The turn before where I lost Amoonguss, I was like, oh wait, that wasn't good. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But Dylan just really had me on the ropes. Is that the expression? I don't know. Anyway, like I was like I was second guessing my instincts, and so I let Amoonguss go down. And then I thought, okay, if I can just get Incineroar versus Farigiraf in the end, I can win. But then I thought, like, oh, maybe Miraidon's taking out Incineroar this turn, and because of the special defense drop, I'll lose. And so it was really tense. And then when I saw Miraidon targeting Flutter main, and I knew there was still 1 turn of Trick Room left, and Miraidon was in range of another Flare Blitz, I was like, this is it. Like, there's no way for me to lose this anymore.
100%. And then real quick, too, I know yesterday after your matches, you mentioned to our staff there was a secret about the team. Are you ready to reveal it now?
I was planning on waiting till the video released on it to be honest. But I mean, I feel like now is as good a time as any. So many of you know that my last official live event was the Toronto Regional Championships, where I won. But it wasn't my last event. There was an online tournament called the Global Challenge. Over 10,000 players entered. Players from around the world could earn championship points. Japanese and Korean players could earn invitations to nationals. But what was weird is that at the end of the tournament...
Wait, someone said there's no point in protecting Instant last turn. No, I disagree. Like,
the person who it was.
If you protect you could protect plus Moonblast is a play that would win Wolf the game, right?
In a 3-month period for me, as I won the Global Challenge last month.
It's just crazy. 3.
What a crazy reveal. What a crazy string of events runs that is. And I mean,
33-4.
Go celebrate. Final chance, final shoutouts, final words.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I could not have won this final if I didn't have the support of some incredible people. I've already mentioned Marcus and Aaron, who like stayed up late and just spent so much time helping me prepare over the last couple days. Also my in-person squad here, Dr. Aaron Trailer, Yuki, Brendan, Yo Tom, also support from back home, Justin, Dylan, Ed, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, I'm so sorry. And also a big special thank you to Billa. All my other friends, they booked flights home on Sunday. So everybody, they showed up this morning, they woke up early, they came to help me prep. We worked all day, but eventually they had to leave. Finals was running a little bit late. And so they said, good luck, we're rooting for you, but they had to leave. And Billa, he also booked a flight home, but when he saw that I was in the finals and that everybody else had left, he said, you know what? I've got work tomorrow, but I'm moving my flight till 6:30 tomorrow. So Billa, thank you especially. Yeah.
A real one. Thank you so much, Wolf. One last Incineroar of applause, everyone, for Wolf Glick, your EUIC champion.
Oh, man.
What a wonderful finals. What a wonderful day. One final time, back over to our casters.
Well, folks, that's it. There's almost 4,000 of you watching at the peak, which is also crazy. So thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I know that's got to be one of the best. I feel like I've said that a lot about a lot of the Wolf finals, like the Wolf versus Marco finals, Wolf versus Ashton as well. It's just crazy because these players are all so good and they push them so hard, and all of these come down to the wire. It's like one different move from the opposing end, and the result would be different, or one different damage roll, But he's just built different, man. He's just built different. And honestly, I think for reference, when Marcus and I were practicing, we kept leading Miraidon plus Farigiraf on the opposing end. So, like, the reason why I'm really impressed by Dill, for many reasons. One, they played incredibly. But two, it's like they showed really good awareness. I think it's tempting to think about Miraidon Farigiraf because it's so explosive, but they recognize that they should use the Miraidon under Trick Room, and I think that was really, really smart. And it's just crazy because it's like, yeah, if Electrodrift went into Instant there, then Dill's our champion, right? It's like literally one different move, and that's it. Psychic also did a lot more to Flutter. I thought it might be a 4-hit knockout, but it did so much damage. And I think it's like, I'm not even sure the special Spadef drop even mattered too much because it's like a 3-hit knockout anyway. But this game was so tense, and it starts off, by the way, with Ghost Terra coming out from the Incineroar. I also wanted to go back to this game because you guys were pointed out terrain ended, which was a good call out. This is game 1. Did I know about Wolfie secretly winning the GC? I've known about this team the entire time since he was building it after Toronto. You know what? Let me see if I can find a snippet to show you all something. Moonblast drops are a thing. Yeah, that's true. That is true. So the Spadef drop matters in the sense, but like, because the thing is, you only get there's still one more turn of Trick Room, so Flutter would protect, and then Frigg would set up Trick Room again, and then so yeah, if you get a Moonblast drop, it does negate the Spadef drop. Flutter, yeah, Psychic did 48 to Flutter. Yeah, it was just an incredible set. I hope, like, I really feel for Dill in the sense that Dill was so close to winning that, like, so close. They had it. It felt like they had built up a good advantage in game 2 as well. Game 2, the main thing I wanted to look at is, could Dill have positioned differently so you get a second Trick Room up? Because the goal was to get terrain set up again. Okay, let's see. Do you think if Miraidon still had Terra available, it may have survived Moonblast? I think it's less about Miraidon having Terra there and Instant not having Terra, so then you don't get popped by Shadow Ball. Let's see. I also think in this turn, when the Amoonguss switched in game 3, it could have been a Draco Meteor. Let's see. Yeah, Flare Blitz plus Trick Room gets set up here. Instant switches in. Because here Dill calls the protect. Parting Shot comes out. The Volt switch is nice, but then the problem is you don't have Miraidon out on the field exerting offensive pressure. But I can understand the Frigg switch. The thing is, Miraidon took that last Flare Blitz pretty well, so I was thinking in this position, even if this protects and Flare Blitz again, do we see who is faster between Instant and Frigg on the opposing end? Because if Wolf's Parting Shot goes off first, then you get Draco Psychic off into that slot to knock out Amoonguss. And game 2 was so close as well. But yeah, like, basically, I think, like, in this matchup, what Dill was looking for is to get a knockout onto one of Koraidon and Flutter Mane and not take too much damage with Miraidon as a result. Game 2, I'm mainly wondering if Miraidon didn't switch in on that close combat, how differently this game would have looked. Because it was getting to a point where it looked like everything was getting kind of low. Amoonguss flinches. Like, yeah, Volt Switch comes out. You get the knockout. Yeah, terrain did disappear this turn, right? Wait, yeah, so this is the turn where... Couldn't this have been Iron Hands into... No, it doesn't work. Never mind. Because Electric Seed is consumed. I was going to say you switch into Miraidon, but I see what you're all saying. Because terrain ends just at the wrong time here. If you bring out Farigiraf, terrain ends. And then you're just Sport Bait. So, yeah. Why low kick in game 2? That's a good call out. Let's see. Because, yeah, I was thinking if it was Heavy Slam here, if it could have also been winning. Maybe just hoping for a protect here that didn't come out. Like, low kick was definitely into the Koraidon slot, right? If Heavy Slam came out here, Amoonguss faints. You have Hands, Koraidon, and Miraidon. It may have been enough for Dill to win the game as well if you just knocked out Amoonguss there. But I don't know if you needed the low kick damage on top of the Heavy Slam damage to get the knockout. Yeah, is there any reason to not Rage Powder there? You could protect, I guess. This did so much damage, by the way. Wait, how much did Low Kick do? Heavy Slam did 116. Low Kick. It did 30. Yeah, so maybe you like if Heavy Slam isn't gonna get the knockout there anyway. I like the Low Kick. What is that guy? Let's see. Pull up the calc. Iron Hands. Tomungus. Heavy Slam. If you have Cork Drive activated, 97 to 115. Let's say your max attack. This isn't also the exact spread, but it's also probably not max attack. 102 to, yeah, so I think you do need the low kick damage to knock out with Heavy Slam. Oh my goodness. Well, folks, that was one heck of a way to end the event. Really good finals across the board. This finals in particular is going to go on the highlight reel for sure. A masterclass from both players, honestly. And when a finals is this close and you know either player could win just from making one different move, that's how you know it was good, right? But in the end, it's Wolf adding another champion. That's 3 he's won in December, January, and February. Every month he's claimed a big title, which is absolutely wild. So congrats to Wolf. He played super well. And I like that he just stuck with, Flutter Koraidon and realized like how he needed to conserve both in order to win this one. Like Dark Terror Among Us was coming out a lot when we were playing this matchup, but I think Dill, finding the instant Furgraph lead and then the Dark Ursh lead. I think Dark Ursh over Hands here could have been interesting as well to like do damage through protects. But yeah. All right, folks. This was awesome. Thank you to the 4,000 plus of you that tuned in at the peak, and thanks for watching. Co-streaming is really fun. It's something I want to do more of, so if you enjoyed, let me know. And I will see you all next time. Is Wolfie going to be on the pod again? Yeah, maybe we'll just do another episode with him, like the back-to-back episodes with him winning titles. So, okay, be well, everyone, and I'll see you all next time.